Get started and press record. Hey guys, welcome to tonight's call. Today is Wednesday, December 28th, and this is the team call for Team Hear Me Roar and Team New Americana if you're on that team. So tonight, I made a slideshow for you, a presentation, one, because I really like using Canva and I just really nerded out on like making it look pretty. And my favorite like trainings are always when someone does like a presentation, right? So I just nerded out on this and made it. And so I thought I would try it out and share the screen with you and record it. And then I can upload it on YouTube and it can just kind of like be there forever. And if it works out, I'll do it every single week for you. So, I'm like sweating really bad. So tonight I just wanted to, share, like anything that I share is always stuff that I need to work on or that I think really helps me. So that's why I take time to learn about it or put like a training together on it, because then I am better at it because I am like, obviously researching it and whatnot. So I'll go ahead and share the screen and get right into it. Maybe. Okay. Desktop. So if you do notice, okay, is that big enough? I wonder how, actually, I'm going to try, give me just a second. I'm going to try to open it in a different program so that it's, what did I save this as? Download as, what did I name this? Download. Am I recording this? Sorry, you can tell I haven't used Zoom in a long time, huh? How's your night going, Cassie?
That's good.
Talk to me while I'm awkwardly figuring this out.
Yeah, not much. Just hanging out at the house.
Nice. Okay, so I am recording, so that's good. I'll resume back to desktop. Okay. How to share training, that's what I called it. How to share training. So this is much better. Okay, you can see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So how to pay it forward and share the opportunity. So this is from a national wake-up call like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So you can trust it. It's from a really successful person. I didn't make all of it up. It is the Facebook pings. Is that annoying to you? Can you hear them?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, it's fine.
It bothers me, but if you can't hear it, then I'll just keep it there. So, so she broke it down, I forgot her name, but it was 4 weeks ago. And she broke it down into her like 4-step process. And I thought it was genius. So, one of the first steps in sharing and just, everything that I'm going to talk about right now, these 4 steps are just something that you should do every single day. And when we get off the call, practice the 4, take a screenshot of this or maybe write these down afterwards, like when I post a recording, so that you can take time to practice it and then it'll just become ingrained in you. Because sometimes things become really automatic, and even, I'll make a post and like think I'm like doing really good, but we have to take time to not just be really good, but there has to be a purpose to every single post that we make, and they can't just be filler posts, even though you can like earn some money and be kind of successful, like me, kind of successful with just like going through the motions and you can still be doing other parts of your business very well, like having transformations, reading your personal development, and hitting Success Club. But what I'm realizing, I was, okay, I'll rewind a little bit. So I was taking a nap the other day, and a lot of the times I'll have these weird, like realizations while I'm like half awake or half asleep. And I was like sort of waking up from my nap, and I just started thinking like, I can't handle the Facebook thing. I gotta log out of it. And I just had this realization. I was like, okay, I've been a coach for over 3 years. I passed my 3-year was in October. And I was like, and this is where my business is. And so it was kind of like a gut check, and I was like, I in my head while I was waking up, I did this like, just this, reflection on the last 3 years. I'm like, okay, so why am I where I am right now and not farther along? And I was like, in 2017, I have to decide that I need to do something differently, that I need to be more consistent, because every time I take a break, it's 2 steps back, and I can't let that overwhelm me. I just have to be like, 2017 is here. I'm going to be a different coach, and I need to look at the last 3 years in order to decide what and who I'm going to be in 2017 in my business. So, so that means not just making like what that means is every post has to have a purpose. And obviously to be successful, it's all about team building, right? So 2017 for me is all about team building, all about being a good leader, hitting Success Club 20 and helping other people grow and helping you guys grow. Cause that's the bottom line. That's all it takes to be successful. So what that means is I need to take more time to, develop, or I just need to put a little bit of thought into my post. Like that's it. Nothing crazy. Right. So this is what I'm sharing today. So, here's what makes a good post. And I have an example of a mediocre post, which is the one that you see above. The one that's kind of like cattywampus, so that's a little crooked. That's an okay post. And the one below it is the one that I posted today, obviously knowing I was going to use it as an example for this training. So step 1 of like what makes a good share. So this is all about just like a post. So the step 1 is sharing glimpses of your life pre-Beachbody. So thinking about that, what that was like. So every single post has to be about this in a way, whether it's not just about your fitness, like if you can see this second post, oh God. So if you can see this second post of like the selfie that I took, I'm talking about like how I was super lazy today and I let myself be lazy and I spent time in the sun, like laying in the sun. And I talk about how I used to feel like being unproductive was something I should feel guilty about. So basically I was talking about my pre-Beachbody life in this post, this example, saying that, I was just really hard and I equated being worthy, if I was productive, that meant I was good enough. And so in this post, I really just talk about that was my mindset before Beachbody. And I did it in a really low key way. It's not like in your face. I'm not like advertising a group that's coming up. I'm not saying join why you should be a coach. I'm just talking. I'm just sharing myself. And so that these are things that we can do every single day on our social media to really grow our business substantially without feeling salesy, without feeling like you have to arrive and be something totally different. Because the key to what makes a good share is just being relatable. Because not everyone is weird like us. Like, let's be real. We aren't normal. Not everyone likes to work out every single day. And not everyone wants to have a home business. Like, we are not normal. So in order to combat that, we have to be relatable and show like the normal parts of us. So, step 2 is you have to share what you didn't like about those areas. And this is where the feel part comes in, the human emotions, because people make change and they'll buy something from you, not because of a transformation, not because you look like a fitness model, or not because you're really good with your words. They'll do it because of how you make them feel. So step 2 is making sure you touch on how you felt or what you didn't like about those areas of your life and how those felt to you. So, like I already mentioned, I had this, messed up thought process that if I wasn't constantly productive or constantly working out or constantly studying or constantly at work, making money, like being a productive human, then I was like wasting time. And then what would happen is I would spiral into eating bad and just not being kind to myself in this really like deep hole, right? So that's how I felt. And I talk about that in the post. Like I said, the post is really low key. It's not super profound or deep or anything. And then the third step is what solution was presented to you that helped you overcome this. So then I talk about, I quickly say, I've changed so much in these last few years, and I'm so thankful. And I can not see it all the way, but now self-care, here we go. Now self-care means unplugging and sometimes spending money on yourself you think you don't have. So I did, and then I did that 3 years ago, and it shifted how much money I have made when I stopped coming from a place of lack and just closed my eyes and did it with both feet in. More things started coming my way. So weird and so miraculous how our world works this way. So I'm like subliminally talking about that time I bought a challenge pack, even though the $140 or $199 is kind of a lot to some people. I talk about how I just closed my eyes and did it. So that was the solution, the coaching team and the community that was presented to me. So step 4, now that you have this in your life, what has changed and how do you feel about that? And you have to share the vision, so even if you aren't where you want to be, you have to know your vision, know where you're going so hard and so clearly, and believe in that people have to know like where you're going or where this opportunity is taking you in your life. So and share what your future looks like. So I talk about what happened next as I began to immerse myself in all the groups I quickly became a part of, from becoming a coach, commenting on their posts, reaching out to them for help so I could figure out how to do this business and become my best. Now I have found so much authentic love, and it blows my mind how they are all still there for me to this day when I have a question. Love you, girls. So yeah, that's how I overcame that. I became a coach. I overcame that. And then I kind of share like how awesome I think it is. So basically what it comes down to is that we spend too much time on 3 and 4. And you can see that in the previous post that I did. So if you see on this original post with my stomach showing, it says 40 days left for me. So I'm definitely being proof the product works. I got 3 girls completely and utterly committed to 21 days of no BS November challenge I'm running. We officially begin Monday, November 3rd. If you'd like to RSVP for your spot, please message me before Friday, October 24th. So you can see that's just a post that I just threw up. It's not super bad. It's not going to like hurt your business necessarily, but there's not a ton. It doesn't have the same flow as the second one does. So like I said, we spend too much time on just talking about the solution. So in that first part, I just focus on 3 and 4, and I just have a graphic up, so we forget to relate to our tribe or our prospects where we are at today. So you have to share whatever the external problem was. Like I was stuck. I didn't like my job. I was just unfulfilled and not very happy. And connect it with the external part, which was like my weight and what I looked like. So step 1 and 2 are really connecting the external, what was happening outside of you and inside of you. So the physical and the inside, the mental part. And then what happens in return when people are scrolling through your social media after you invite them in public or in private, the first thing that we all know, is go and they glimpse at your Facebook and they look at the last 2 posts that you made. So they connect with the emotion and say, okay, I want to feel this way too. And they can easily say that. So if you're, I hear a lot of people that say that, but I'm inviting all the time. I'm talking to people all the time. And the truth of the matter is if we're not doing this and sharing and making good quality shares every day, then people aren't going to connect and say they want to feel this way too. So you're going to keep getting a ton of objections, which are normal. But if you want to have less eventually and start building a real business, you need to make sure you're doing it in this flow. So address objections. So this part is just anticipate objections. You can answer them in a live call by telling, like, whether you, rather than doing like a coach sneak peek, you can do a live call on your Facebook and tell people like what date it's going to be on. Tell them what your anticipations or hesitations were before you started. Or just talk about all of the objections that you think that they will have, or that people have, like money, that they might not look good enough, or whatever. So what that does is that does two things. It lays everything out on the table, and it gives them something to relate to so that they can overcome it with you. So they know that they aren't weird for having these objections, and that you did too, but you did it anyway, and look where you're at. So you can share it through your story. So remind them that you had those same fears too. And this is important. You don't need to overwhelm people in the beginning when you're signing them up as a coach with too much info. What you're doing in this process, in this flow, is you're just arming them with confidence and inspiring them to take action. They don't need to know how to run a challenge group or how the inviting works or the personal development. They don't need to know all of that. And that was a big takeaway that I got from this, because I'm a detail-oriented person. So I want to tell people like everything it takes to be a coach, especially because I was thinking if I did that, they'd be more successful when they did sign up, since they knew what to expect. But the truth is that they just need confidence to take action, to actually sign up before you tell them how everything works. So what you do after you spot your potential girl. So let's assume that you're doing all 4 vital behaviors. You're making quality posts and you're putting effort into them. You're doing your workouts and you're sharing your story. You're sharing your nutrition every single day. You're recognizing other people. You're sharing before and after photos. You're recognizing yourself. You're sharing success stories. And you're doing your personal development, and you're growing. You can feel it. You're being uncomfortable. You're challenging yourself to work on things about yourself that you know need work. So the next step is if you're doing all that and you're sending out your invites, I missed one for vital behavior, and you're sending out invites like crazy every single day. So when you have a potential person who wants to hear more information, who likes your post, who comments on a post, the key is to making sure that you're just talking to enough people, right? That's the big thing in network marketing is the secret sauce is sometimes we just don't talk to enough people. So that means just getting outside of your comfort zone and shooting out those scripts. And the rest is the other 3 vital behaviors. If you're doing the other 3 vital behaviors, the one-on-one inviting will take care of itself, I promise. And I'm going to kind of sidetrack real quick. Another thing that I heard recently that I've just been really diving into and trying to live and breathe is getting really excited about objections. And I've realized that sometimes the reasons that I take breaks and put Success Club off to the last minute, like the last few days of the month, is because those objections are uncomfortable. I don't like to, there's a lot of people, I'm not perfect. I compare myself to the people that I invite on social media even, like maybe they don't think I'm fit, or maybe they don't think I'm credible and wouldn't want to join my group. Whoops. Or whatever my thing is in my head. Like there's a lot of cool girls on social media, and a lot of the times they're the ones I'm talking to. So I get in my head about it, and I'm just worried before they even tell me that they're going to have some sort of objection. So I heard recently that we need to remember to get excited about those objections, because objections give you a chance to overcome something and teach them something and give them more of an insight rather than someone just like ignoring you and not saying anything. So anyway, I don't know. I'm not like thinking too much into this, but all I know is when someone gives me objection, I make myself feel excited about it because I know it's an opportunity, and I'm not thinking too much more about it than the fact that I know that it's a good sign. Okay. So after you spot your potential girl, whoever's messaging you, I'm like way too click happy. You invite her. So this is how the invitation process goes, if you didn't know. Remember the vital process, which is something Beachbody corporate just started implementing and we haven't really talked about much. But the vital process is making sure that people have the experience of following you on social media, of joining one of your challenge groups before you try to recruit them to the coaching opportunity, because statistics show that they're more likely to stick around. And if they have that love and that experience with the transformation and the love for Shakeology, and then they're going to have they're already bought into the vision. So that's the vital process. Signing up as a challenger, going through the program, and then becoming a coach. So this whole training is not necessarily, yes, I do still invite people to the business opportunity, even if they're not in my challenge group right now. And I do that only if they're like super into CrossFit or just did a bikini competition or kind of seem like they're already like don't need to jumpstart their fitness journey. And then obviously what I would do then after that is I would treat them as a challenger still, so this isn't to say that you can't sign up any coaches anymore. The vital process is just saying that you make sure that you give your new coaches the experience of a challenge group first. And next week we'll do a training about how to run a really kick-ass challenge group. And I'll give you guys like some new daily activities and posts that I'm going to do to revamp my challenge group experience in 2017 because I'm totally lacking in that department. But yeah, so you simply just reach out to someone and tell them that they'd make a really good coach. Maybe they'd be like, really? Do you think I'd be good at it? And then your response, and you can use this same like script and flow for if you're inviting for a challenge group. So your script could be, yes, I could honestly write you a novel all about what coaching is, but why don't we chat on the phone and you can pick my brain a bit and decide if this would be a good fit for you. Does 3 p.m. tomorrow work or 9 a.m. Saturday work? So I give people 2 different times to choose from. That way they actually give you their phone number and you have a date to call them. Okay, so what do you say when you get them on the phone? I want to tell you this right now. Some of you know that I was a coach once before I was on Amy's team. The first coach that recruited me when I was 19 years old got me on the telephone and called me. And that's what got me to sign up as a coach. So here's what you do. You ask a bunch of open-ended questions. You don't have to worry about being the expert. I know that there's some of you that like want me to tell you every single thing you need to say to a new person, or you just haven't taken that leap to have more phone calls with people. But I challenge you to at least tomorrow try to schedule at least 2 conversations with people about groups or the coaching opportunity. And it's so easy to talk to someone about this business on the phone because you literally just have to talk about them and ask open-ended questions. So if you need a reminder of what an open-ended question is, they are questions that don't have a yes or no answer, right? So like a closed-ended one would be, would you work out at home? And the person would say yes or no or maybe. Or do you want to lose weight or tone up? And they would say, well, I want to lose weight. So they have like 1 or 2 answers, right? But an open-ended question is, so what have you tried recently that just didn't work or that you didn't like? And then they can kind of elaborate and expand on that. Or you can ask them, what are your exact fitness goals? And they might respond with a one-worded thing like, I want to lose weight. So it's always about expanding and digging deeper. And then you would say, well, how much weight do you want to lose? This business is so easy. You just have to get out there and ask people a lot of questions about themselves. That's it. This is the flow. So these are, you can screenshot this or look at this later. These are just some of the open-ended questions I ask people, whether it's on Messenger or on the phone. Before I tell them anything about what the group's about, I just get to know them. So find out what they need. Through this, the reason we ask so many questions is because you are gathering information. You're finding out what they need and storing that in your head. and you're able to respond in a way that sells your product in that light, in the language of exactly what they need. So we're about to get to a really, really good part in this training tonight. That has completely changed things for me in the way that I talk to people. So before we do that, open-ended questions make your prospects feel trusted and like you are truly getting to know them. This is what's going to separate you from everyone else who's just trying to sell something. This is what's going to separate you from being an elite coach or just a hobby coach the rest of your life, is being genuine. This is how you make people know you are genuine, is by asking these open-ended questions. The more questions you ask, the more interested they feel you are and view you as a knowledgeable person who cares and is reliable. So if you're worried or concerned about not knowing enough, the good news is you don't have to know much to be successful. And you'll learn more obviously as you go, but they'll view you as knowledgeable if you just ask questions. Regardless where you are, just asking them questions will make them feel like you know what's going on. So here's the best part. This is my favorite step of the training because a couple of things. Being assertive and authoritative is like my favorite quality about myself. And that might sound really weird to say because a lot of the times I've tried to like dim this down about myself because sometimes I don't think it's appropriate to be authoritative, or it's scary to be assertive, right? It's scary to like tell someone what to do. And I always, I don't want anyone to think that I'm like telling them what to do or being mean or anything, but naturally, like I like that's just kind of the person that I am. So this was exciting for me to share that I could finally find a way to like channel that energy appropriately without knowing that I wasn't going to offend people. And it works. And this is like how you have to do it if you want to hit Success Club. So I looked up what authoritative meant on Google, and it said commanding and self-confident, likely to be respected and obeyed. And I loved that. So after you ask all these questions, don't be afraid. So a lot of the times we get stuck on like what to say next, blah, blah, blah. But don't be afraid to say, hey, that's great. Based on all the questions I asked you and all the answers you gave me, this is what I recommend. This is what we are going to do. So that's so authoritative and so assertive, and it might be different than what you do now, but this is how you sell. That like this is how you stop lillygagging and beating around the bush and not helping people. Okay, so if you want to help people, you have to be a coach and be authoritative. That's what people are looking for. So then you walk them through how to get started on a challenge pack or the all access demand challenge pack. So after you're done talking, they will see so much value already just from what we just learned. They'll see why this is the best way to start and why it will help them become a believer, a product of the product, and lead them to become really successful as a coach. So I kind of tied in, I went a little back and forth in this on like inviting to a challenge group and to coaching, because I think both are so important. I didn't want to just focus on one thing. But if you were talking to someone about being a coach, and I usually do this with almost every person, and then based on like how the convo goes, I'll then decide if they're going to sign up as a coach now, or if they need a round of the 21-day fix or a program for 30 days under their belt first. So the open-ended questions for a coach would start the same, just like this, but then they would go into like, how are you financially? What do you do for work? Like how are you fulfilled? If you could make money from this, from getting in shape, how many hours per week could you dedicate to working this? That's one question I've been asking people. And then you can go back to, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start you out on a challenge pack and then enroll you as a coach for free. And tell them that we're doing it this way so that you can be proof that it works, obviously, and that you can be successful because you'll actually believe in it before you start selling it. So that's it. That's really it. And another thing that I wanted to share, a really good nugget that I got from some personal development, that I've been reading is that get really excited about objections, right? I keep looking at myself in the corner because I'm like not used to that. So get really excited about objections, right? And then the second part is, okay, there's 3 types of people in network marketing, and only 3 types of people. And they fall into 3 different buckets. And here they are. The people that want to join your challenge group and that are going to sign up, the people that are going to join your team and that are ready to sign up or that are going to sign up. And the third is the people that don't want to sign up, that don't respond, that say no, that don't want anything to do with your challenge group or your coaching. These people are where you get referrals from. These are the people that you get referrals from. So coaching, challenge groups, referrals. Challenge groups, coaching, referrals. 3 types of people. So that's how you can really capitalize on all the time you're spending talking to people. I've been asking for way more referrals and to people who aren't interested, it's not their thing, like whatever, I don't care. You know, I'm not too worried about like objections or anything at that point. I'm just like, all right. And then this is what I go into the script. I use it every time. Okay, I totally get that you don't want to do it. Or even right off the bat, you guys, if it's like, you know, someone who's pregnant who I know that they don't want to join right now, or have already told me that they want to wait till they have their baby, or it's, you know, like an old coworker of mine who is like in her 50s, and I'm going to be honest, like our communication isn't very well because she doesn't speak English very well, or she doesn't type English very well, so it's like hard for us to communicate. So, and I've already invited her and she didn't respond, so I asked her, I go, hey, I know that you're not interested in doing one of my groups, but who do you know who would possibly consider doing a fitness accountability group with me in 2027 that you could refer me to? And then I ask for their name, and then I find them on Facebook, and then I message them and I say, hey, thanks for accepting my friend, you know, and then I just start the process all over again. So those 3 buckets, just knowing that, I don't know, it just makes me feel really empowered. By just being able to see people in those 3 buckets. So I hope that makes you feel the same way about it. Let me go back to my last slide. So here's the last slide. So at the end of the day, you can always ask yourself, and one thing that I love so much about this business is that we are in control, that it always comes down to us, right? We have control of everything. So say this to yourself, when things start to slow down in my business, I can always relate it back to not being committed to a program and sharing it daily. So ask yourself, I'm going to leave you with that. What are you doing right now? What program are you doing? What day are you on? Are you sharing your portions and how you hit your portions? Are you sharing and making quality posts? And are you sharing little workout clips? People aren't going to know that you work out if you don't show how you're working out. So I look sometimes at your social medias, not that often, but just those of you that are, that I know are trying to hit Success Club. And one thing that I can tell from all of them is that I can't tell. I don't know what you're doing. You know, I don't have the full picture. We need the full picture. So make sure you're telling people by showing them what you're doing, by making those quality posts like I showed you right here about how you felt then, how you feel now, where you're going, what program you're on. Look at even this post is good. The bad example I shared, it's not a bad example. It's just like a mediocre one. It says day 11 on it. People know I'm committed to something, right? So I have 14 days left of the 21-day fix. Super proud of myself for doing a full entire week of the program. I only cheated once, and that was with nachos on Christmas. But they were potato based. That doesn't make it any better. So yeah, just show people what you're doing, and I guess I will open it up if you guys have any questions. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. But yeah, I know Jess and Cassie are on. Do any of you guys have any questions about anything I covered, or what do you feel like you need to be successful? Like, let's look at January. We have 3 days left of this month. Who wants to hit Success Club to like kind of propel them for January this month? Any questions? Am I muted? No, but Jess is. Cassie, are you on still?
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can hear you.
Can you see me though?
Do you want me to make it so I can see you?
Oh, I just didn't know if you could because of the I'm on my iPad, so it's a little different.
I asked you to start video. There we go.
Yeah, I don't have my computer, so I use my little tablet, and so I was like, whoa, it's like
Goes in and out.
away for a little bit, and then I was like, what the heck? So no, I don't have any questions. I kind of know where I need to be and like what I need to start doing, or not start doing again, but what I need to be more consistent in with sharing.
Well, the quality looks really good on your tablet.
Thanks. I'm like
If you
trying
don't
to because it's falling down like everywhere I put it. So.
I know you need like a stand or something.
Yeah.
Sweet. You look so cute. You look
I was gonna say your hair looks really cute. Ours is like almost the same color right now. Like the light makes it look really yellow, but it's pretty much the same color.
It looks so good. My face is really
Shakeology.
what?
It's my Shakeology.
Right, I know. That made me really tired talking for that long. I'm gonna stop recording real quick.